Morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody feeling out there? How you feeling on this beautiful Friday, November 7th, 8 a.m.? Busy sports weekend coming up. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Appreciate you guys being a part of the channel. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Man, we're getting kind of got to be honest with everybody here, great love on the channel these first couple of weeks of the Lakers season. Well, thank you very much for being here. I was mentioning it yesterday. I'm slowly kind of trying to introduce some music into the mix here. I think music is such a critical piece in any type of show you do. Radio, YouTube, any of that stuff. So let's kind of, work our way in here. We got a busy show today. I got no guests. Today you're just with Slee. Got one full hour where you just got to listen to me freaking yap. No interruptions. No editing. Things live. Is this on? Thank you very much for being here. We're going to have a fun show today on this Friday, and we'll get you guys into your weekend. You'll see me back tomorrow because Lakers got the Atlanta Hawks. I'm sorry that you got to see me even on a weekend. Even you guys don't even get a quick chance to breathe. You guys don't even get like a full weekend without me. It is what it is. Is what it is. All right, thank you very much for being here. Let's give everyone a quick rundown of the show. Let's try to also be smooth and slowly fade out this music. All right, that's it. We're done. Music's gone. That's it. That's it. You're not going to get it now until we're out of here. Weekend preview, I'm going to put the music back on. That's when I'm going to do a little intro in the beginning, a little outro at the end, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Here's what we got going on for the show today. What's behind the Lakers' success? There was a quote that came from Luka Doncic after the Lakers beat the San Antonio Spurs. Really stuck out to me. And I think it does actually explain some of the reasons why the Lakers are having the type of success that they're having. Whether, you're a Laker fan and you're like, oh, I knew it. I saw it. I saw in the preseason game when the Lakers didn't play anybody and when Sliwa was bitching that they were going to be great in the regular season. I don't think anybody saw this start, but I do think there's a quote from Luka that I think helps explain a little bit the success that they've had so far this season early on at 7-2. I want to give kind of some background on what the Lakers didn't have last year in the playoffs when they got Deandre Ayton, what everybody initially thought about that. And then as we kind of continue to move forward, is he meeting expectations? Is he surpassing expectations? And what's realistic for Deandre Ayton so far? I think he's been excellent. I think he's been great to start the season. So I'm looking forward to talk a little bit about Deandre Ayton and why I think the success that he's having is very, very sustainable. I think that's probably the most important thing. Is it sustainable or is it not sustainable? It is. Luka's start, his numbers are video game numbers. You know what I mean? Complete video game numbers. Luka's start reminds me a little bit sixth grade Kennedy Recreation Center out in El Cajon. I was starting point guard back then. And when I used to walk into that gym, it reminds me a lot of what I'm seeing at a Luka right now. You guys know what I'm talking about? You guys probably don't know what I'm talking about because none of you guys were MVP caliber players in sixth grade as a starting point guard for Kennedy Recreation Center. So, frankly, I'm not surprised at all if none of you guys can walk in the same shoes that I walked in. I see what Luka's going through. All right, with that in mind. Luka's start to the season. Guys, I got to be honest with you. This happens a lot to me, and it happens too much. I can't stop thinking of how the Lakers got Luka. Go look at what the Dallas Mavericks are doing right now. There's some really good quotes I got from some of these NBA insiders about Nico Harrison's job potentially on the line. What do you mean potentially? How is his job? How does he have a job right now? I'll talk about Luka's start, and I'll talk about the Mavs start. This genuinely is going to go down as the worst trade in NBA history. I mean, it has to. I'll spend a little time on that. Got some NBA news. Only one game yesterday. Clippers and the Phoenix Suns. Clippers are 3-5. Anybody paying attention to that? Clippers are 3-5 to start the season. There was a lot of hype behind the Clippers. They're 3-5 to start the season. Weekend preview. We'll talk a little NFL, college football, and we'll get the hell out of here. Let everybody go enjoy their weekend. So thank you very much for being here. Please subscribe to the channel. Shout out real quick. And I know, some of this has to do with how's the team doing, success, all that stuff. But really, really great views since the season started. So I appreciate everybody's support. I mean, I think yesterday's post-game show is doing 10,000 views for a post-game show. Obviously early November. So thank you very much. This morning show, yesterday I did this morning, over 6,000 views. So thank you very much for the support. I appreciate all you guys. All right, let's take a look, couple of comments before we get started. All right, let's see what we got here. I listen to you while I drive to work in the winter with summer tires on. Helps me lock in. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you tuning in. Let's get another one here. Never blame anyone in your life. Good people give you happiness. Bad people give you experience. Worst people give you lessons. And the best people give you memories. Phenomenal stuff right there. Great stuff. Ocean Breeze just coming through with the quotes. Is Chris trying to challenge Ocean Breeze? A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. Damn. Wow. I think Chris and Ocean Breeze are going one-on-one right now. I think Ocean Breeze was like, no one's going to stop this jumper. And then Chris kind of Euro-stepped him. Very nice. I appreciate you guys putting the quotes in here. Let's get another one in here. Then we'll start it off. Not only am I wasting my hour hearing you yap, paying a fee to be a member. Damn, Christian, relax, bro. I got feelings too. I got feelings too. I appreciate you doing your, being a member. Feeling the beats though. Nice intro. Thank you very much, brother. All right. Cheers to everybody. Let's get the show started and let's go from there. Those Google quotes, I don't care where the quotes come from. If they're good quotes, they're good quotes. I could use some of that stuff. I like that stuff. All right, let's get the show started. We are, what's today? Friday, November 7th. So about 2.5 weeks into the season. And Lakers sit at 7-2. It's actually kind of crazy. Already 9 plus the 6, 15 games if you count the preseason. Already 15 games in, which might not sound like a lot to you guys, but to somebody like me who, pays close attention to this stuff, and trust me, like during the NBA season, especially, how many games are they in? And you're looking for breaks in the schedule. And it kind of feels like 15 games went pretty fast if you count the preseason games as well. So what's behind Lakers' success? And let me give you the quote that I was talking about that I wanted to get into. So Luka, after the game against the San Antonio Spurs, I'm going to read this, grabbed it off. Lakers Nation did a good article on this. Here's the quote. He said, honestly, the feeling that I'm enjoying it, or let me start it. Honestly, the feeling is that I'm enjoying it very much playing with these guys. Like you said, AR can play. We're still missing LeBron James. This team has big potential. Everybody steps on the court and gives maximum effort. So it's very enjoyable to play. This is coming from your superstar, Luka Doncic. I'll tell you guys why this quote means a lot. At least I think it has a lot of power behind it. And I think it does tell some of the story of why the Lakers have had the success that they've had so far this season. When your superstar is using words, I'm enjoying it very much playing with these guys. This team has big potential. It's very enjoyable to play. Oh, by the way, we don't even have our full roster yet. Eventually, Reeves will come back. LeBron will come back. When your superstar is saying things like that, I think you could tell it on the court too. Luka's not BSing. He's not bullshitting anybody. Luka's not just saying this just to throw a good quote out there. I think you can tell that there is two things that are very important in anything that you do. Anything you do. This isn't just a basketball thing. This is anything that you do. In order, I think, to have success, you got to enjoy what you're doing and you got to really be driven while you're doing it. Those, I think, are very important factors. So you're running your own business. You work for a company. It doesn't matter what you're in. That combination of, man, I really like what I do and I'm really driven on a day-to-day basis in whatever the project is or whatever the goal is. If Luka Doncic feels this way, I think there's probably a good chance Rui maybe feels the same way. All right, if Rui's feeling it, then probably a good chance Ayton feels that same way. And Marcus Smart and Jake LaRavia and Dalton Connect and Jackson Hayes, and go down the list of every player that's on this Lakers team. One of the things that I've tried complimenting the Lakers on so far this season, I think there's a lot of value to this, is I feel like every game that I've watched the Lakers, as just somebody that's, all right, let me watch it. Let me be a fan. Let me be objective. Let me look at it from a different perspective. The one thing that I've noticed with the Lakers so far this year is they play tough. They play hard. They don't make any excuses either. And I'm assuming here, if you're given that much effort, and, obviously you're doing a lot of little things that maybe another team isn't going to do, or maybe there's another team out there where there isn't as much joy, or maybe there isn't as much chemistry. Maybe it doesn't equal success all the time, but I think with the Lakers, they've had this kind of perfect combination. The combination is we're going to play hard every night. And you know what? If we're not playing hard, JJ Redick is going to call a timeout in the middle of, trying to think off the top of my head. Who was it? Lakers were playing Miami, I think, on a Sunday night. Or were they playing Portland? No, it was the Miami game on Sunday night. And JJ Redick calls a timeout in the third quarter. F this, bleep this. What the F are you doing? This, that. Everybody kind of refocuses. They get back out there. Lakers end up being the Miami Heat. I don't feel like anything's being taken personal. I think that there is a little bit of everybody pulling the rope in the same direction. I've heard JJ Redick say things where even he's a little bit more impressed, or maybe a little bit surprised how quick everybody has just bought into whatever the hell they're trying to sell. This quote, I think, is a very, very important quote from Luka. And I think it does have something to say about the Lakers' success and what they've been able to do. We're 9 games in. It doesn't mean that the Lakers are the top 3 team in the NBA. It doesn't mean that they're going to end up, we're going to be sitting here 2.5 weeks from now, as we're 2.5 weeks into the season, and the Lakers are still at this type of trajectory or this pace. There's going to be plenty of games where the Lakers fall flat on their face. You guys will come on, you'll bitch and complain, and you'll tell me that everything's screwed up. But we are at kind of a unique moment because they have had success. They did start off 7-2. They've missed a ton of players that are obviously important players, key players that have not been part of the mix. It's been a very interesting start to the season. And I do think that they will eventually get healthier. I do think that they'll grow more chemistry. And you still got some superstars that are ready to come back at some point and hopefully just add to this team. So it's been a very impressive start. If tomorrow Lakers lay an egg against the Atlanta Hawks without Trae Young, we're going to be having a different conversation. I think that's fair to say. But up until this point, good teams, bad teams, blowouts, close games, healthy, injured, you name it, Lakers have found a way to win in each one of these circumstances. And maybe the only one that's not accurate there is healthy, because they have not been whole this season. And I'm sure there's plenty of other teams out there that aren't whole as well. Anthony Edwards out for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously there's other teams that Trae Young's not playing tomorrow. There's been matchups that the Lakers have had where they got a little bit lucky because the other team wasn't at full strength as well. But I will tell you, there has not been a game yet this year where the Lakers have been full strength. So good quote. I think it does say something. I know Luka's kind of in his own world and making it happen. But that's phenomenal stuff there from Luka Doncic. And I think there's some, strength to having people enjoy what they're doing and feel like they're doing it all together. I think there's natural success that comes out of it than somebody that's not enjoying what they're doing. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here. See what the people are saying. What are the people saying? What are they saying? All right, let's see what we got here. These are grown men yelling is not working. Luka and the guys they brought in have changed the culture. I don't agree with you with the yelling takes, Lee. Not sure if I understand. If you want to read that one again and come back to me and help me understand it, I'm all in. I don't think I understood that one completely. JJ has good offensive sets. We ain't trading shit right now. Leave Connect alone. He's our bench. We've had this conversation before, and guys, it's impossible. It's impossible. I could tell you this because someone who's in this space, It's impossible not to have trade conversations and the NBA trade deadline and free agency and all that stuff. Whether you like it or not, that's going to come up. And frankly, I don't know what it is, but if I had a restaurant and it's the regular season, you got people kind of trickling in and out. If it's or you have like your main people that are always there, they love this restaurant, they like to eat there. If we're getting close to the NBA trade deadline, there's a line out the door. If we're getting close to free agency, there's a line out the door. People love talking about that stuff, the speculation, the rumors, oh my gosh, where's this guy going to go? Are the Lakers trading Rui? This, that. If this is a restaurant, I got my regulars every day, and then you got some people that kind of come in and out. If we're getting close to the NBA trade deadline, the regulars are like, oh my gosh, there's a line all the way out the door. That's kind of how this works. So I know it's impossible not to talk trades and trade deadline. I'm not doing anything if I'm the Lakers right now. There's nothing to talk about. What is there to talk about for the Lakers? I think you got to wait. I mean, for genuine trade conversations to come up right now about the Lakers, don't you got to wait another 20 games? I always go back to, I love what Rob Pelinka said. And I'm assuming here, most of the GMs and president of basketball operations, I'm sure they all kind of work off a similar kind of timeline. Yeah, we got to see 25, 30 games before we have any idea what we have or what we don't have. And the disadvantage that the Lakers have is the fact that they've had so many players that have been out so far this year that they still have no idea what they have. Do you think JJ Redick looks at this team right now and says, got it, perfect. I know the rotations. I know the closing five. I know the starting five. I know what to put in this situation, that situation. He's got no idea until LeBron comes back. LeBron being the big piece, right? Until Austin Reeves is there on a consistent basis. Remember, Reeves has missed a handful of games. Luka's missed a handful of games. So I know the trade chatter and people love to have that stuff. They always want to talk about it. I mean, if I led a show on Monday saying Lakers should trade Rui, I might get more views. But I think the more realistic thing right now with the Lakers is building off what they have and figuring out what they need. And I don't think we're going to have that answer until January 1st, where you could start saying, okay, hey, this is apparent. This is, Gabe Vincent's not going to produce for them the rest of the year, or they got to ship Dalton Connect, Gabe Vincent, a first rounder, and go get this type of player. So I know the trade talk is exciting, but I'm not making any moves at this moment. All right, let's get another one here. It will be interesting to see how LeBron integrates himself into the team. If LeBron comes back and the Lakers aren't playing as well and start losing games, LeBron will take the heat. To be honest with you, it's a really good point. I think that right now LeBron is I already know I already have my belief of what I think LeBron's going to do when he does return. I already have, I think, a good understanding of how LeBron will fit into the team. But Ryan, you're right about one thing. If all of a sudden the Lakers are playing good basketball, LeBron comes back and they start struggling, maybe the ball isn't moving as fluid as it was. Maybe guys like Ayton aren't getting as much touches. Maybe whatever the scenario is. Very naturally, people are going to say, hey, look, I told you so. The Lakers are struggling now because LeBron's on the team. Was it Jeff Teague that I said yesterday? Was it yesterday? I can't remember. When I was doing the show, Chris McGee was on the show yesterday. Shout out to him for joining the show. But it was Jeff Teague that's like, yeah, LeBron's going to ruin this chemistry. Here's the beauty. None of us know what's going to happen when LeBron comes back. But if you said, Al, which of these two scenarios would you like to play out? Would you like to take your chances with LeBron coming back on this roster and see where this team can go? Or would you rather not change a thing and keep it as it is and LeBron's not in the picture? I'm going to take my chances with LeBron James on the roster. That LeBron will take the Lakers to another level. That it will give the Lakers more options. It will give them more flexibility. That the Hall of Famer, top 2, top 3 player to ever play the game will find a way to fit in. Like he did last year and like he's done throughout his entire career. But I think it's a fair, valid point. And I'm okay with running with that from the reasons that you said. If they do, look, if they're losing games when he comes back, naturally people are going to say, oh, well, that's because that's the change and that's the reason why the Lakers are struggling. I don't think that's going to happen, but of course it can happen. We'll see where it goes from here. All right, let me keep rolling here. Sometimes you guys have such good comments and points. You take away from the structure of my show. It's like I'm driving to this destination and you guys are like, I get it, but can you just look out the window? Look at this view out here. Good stuff so far. Good stuff. Let me get some coffee in here. Can a man not enjoy his cup of coffee on a Friday? A hard-working man? All right, let me get one in here. Richard. Richard, I appreciate the super. Richard, I've had some really good comments, but the fact that your comment had some money attached to it, I appreciate your comment. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the super. Hey, Slee, love that the Lakers are doing this without LeBron. With LeBron, we got to be better, not worse in the long run. So Richard kind of goes back to the point that I was making a little bit earlier. There's no way to predict how the Lakers are going to be, but I'm going to go back to what I said. I get two options. I get LeBron back, or LeBron continues to kind of deal with his injuries and everything else. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take my chances with LeBron back. The beauty, if there's one kind of positive I could take away from all of this, I would say one of the beauties is they're in a position where the Lakers obviously clearly don't need LeBron in November. They didn't need him in October. They don't need him in November. And if he ends up coming back late November, December, they're going to be, I think, very strategic with how they use LeBron this year, and we'll wait and see what happens. Richard, I appreciate the super, brother. Thank you very much. All right, let's keep moving here. We'll talk about Deandre Ayton and what he's been able to do so far for the Lakers. I was looking up his stats, and I was more kind of just, curious here. Okay, let's get the exact numbers that Ayton's averaging so far this season. So far, Ayton 17-8 so far this year. Let me actually see. Let's see what he's doing. Blocks. Okay, so 17.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds per game, and 1.3 blocks per game for Deandre Ayton so far. All right, let me paint a picture for everybody here real quick, okay? I want to go back to last season, and I want to go back to when the Lakers were getting ready to play the Minnesota Timberwolves. And, for 5 straight games, they were absolutely exposed. They got no size. They got no big men. They did everything they could to try to figure it out, but the Lakers we call it a fugazi in the regular season. They were a fugazi in the regular season. Not that they weren't good, but 50 wins, top 3 in the Western Conference, and you're out in the first round in 5 games, and you had home court advantage. I don't know if those diamonds were real, right? I don't know if those diamonds were real. So with that being said, they go into the offseason with a clear, guys, they got to get it big. If they do not get size, there's no conversation to be had. Remember some of the guys we're looking at, Brooke Lopez, Clint Capella, trying to think of ways that the Lakers can go out there and make some type of move. Everybody knows Mark Williams and that trade that never went down. He ends up with the Phoenix Suns. There was a scout telling me, not a scout, there was somebody who covers the San Antonio Spurs. Before the Lakers ended up playing the Spurs, they were playing the Phoenix Suns. The Spurs were playing the Phoenix Suns. I guess Mark Williams is off to a good start too. What is he, 12-10 so far this year? Anyways, doesn't matter. Long story short, we knew the Lakers needed to go get it big. And then there was some chatter that Ayton might get bought out. And then the conversation was, well, I mean, hell, if they can get Ayton in a buyout, I mean, that's an unbelievable steal. You don't got to pay $30 million. You don't have to, lock somebody in for 2-3 years. There goes your cap space and everything else. They get DeAndre Ayton. I don't know if you guys remember this, but a lot of the conversation we were having leading into the regular season, and a lot of people were saying this. I remember Michael Thompson saying he's the most important player this year for the Lakers. I know I've heard James Worthy talk about just how critical of a role DeAndre Ayton was going to play for the Lakers. A lot of people understood how important the role is going to be for Ayton, the Lakers, this upcoming season. 9 games into the season, only 9, and to see Ayton 17.5, 8 rebounds, and a block and a half a game. He has been, to me, everything you hoped for, everything you could have asked for, and almost like a gift for the Lakers that you felt like there's no path the Lakers really have here unless they trade a ton of their assets, unless they trade expiring contracts to go get a center. And frankly, if that's what they need to do, go do it. Because how the hell are you going to have any success of a season without having a center that you can depend on? If you'd have told me before the season started, I remember I'm gonna tell you guys a specific conversation. You know, a lot of these people that I talk to, that it's natural, right? If I'm talking Lakers every day and I'm having a conversation with somebody else, there is this, somebody wants to talk about Lakers. I was having a conversation with, you guys have heard me, one of partners that we've talked about in the past, Matt Unger, Lexus Santa Monica. I'm having a conversation with him. And he's like, what do you think Ayton's going to do? This is before the season. We're throwing out numbers. And he's like, oh my God. I mean, if this guy can give you 16 and 10, would be unbelievable, be unbelievable. And I think a lot of people feel that way about Ayton. Guys, he's delivered. I got no bitching and complaining about Deandre Ayton at all. And that's with him. I felt like the first game against the Warriors didn't really feel his presence. I feel like every single game, he's had a little bit more impact with the Lakers. I think he said the right thing so far. I think he clearly has, a mentality of, and he said this publicly before as well, this might be one of my last shots to make a name in my career, to maybe get another contract, to get other teams interested in me. I don't know how many more opportunities Ayton has if he screws up this opportunity. But you got to also look at it from a Lakers perspective. Lakers are desperate for Ayton as well. This is exactly what this team needs. And Luka obviously had a lot to do with getting Ayton over here. They share the same agent. Of every player, I could look at all these different players, Luka's numbers, what he's done so far for the Lakers. I could look at Austin Reeves' start to the season, Jake LaRavia, what he's done, Marcus Smart showing some value. Rui Hachimura has had, certainly has had some moments. DeAndre Ayton has had the best season for the Lakers so far this year. He's had the best season. He's had the best season because his role is most important and most needed from what the Lakers didn't have coming into the season. And he's had the best season because he's doing exactly what the Lakers need from him. They're desperate for this. Lakers can win games if Luka Doncic is not there for a game or two. Apparently they can. I didn't know they could because Austin Reeves was there and other guys stepped up. Lakers can win games without LeBron James for the first 9-10 games of the season because Luka's there, AR's there. They found ways to win games without Austin Reeves. Hell, they found ways to win games without Luka, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James. Of course, none of that's sustainable, but they can win games here and there. Ayton is so important to whatever type of success the Lakers are going to have this year. And I think the man deserves credit for what he's done so far this season. There was a lot of conversation about him. There's a reason why Portland doesn't want him. They kicked him to the side. They wanted him away from the young players. All of that is true. But all I could judge DeAndre Ayton on so far this year, what have you done in the first 9 games as a Los Angeles Laker? He's delivered. And I hope I could be sitting here on December 1st and saying he's still delivering, and January 1st and February 1st and go on from there. But up until this point, I got nothing but love for what Ayton has done. He's not perfect. He's not Jokic. He's not Giannis. He's not a top 5 center in the NBA, but he's a productive center for the Lakers, and he's doing a phenomenal job. So shout out to his personal success so far, because I think his personal success is really leading to Lakers team success. If you signed up for this, guys, 17 and a half, 8 rebounds, and a block and a half. You signing up for Ayton, everybody's signing up. So good stuff on DeAndre Ayton. Let's take a look at some of the comments here. All right, this is what I mean by, I get into modes where I just yap. I felt like I was, top of the key, and I was telling everybody, guys, get out of the way. I got this. Let me go ISO here. Let me go ISO right now. And then I felt like the chat, everybody just kind of went to the side, and they went to the wings. They went to the corner. They're like, Slee, all right, we got you. Listen, if you run out of time, we're ready at the corner of the key, ready to hit a jumper. I went ISO. Told everybody, get the hell out of the way. All right, let me see here. Jason, name centers better, please, Slee. I mean, listen, there's the obvious ones, right? You got Wemby, who, by the way, Ayton outplayed on Wednesday. Ayton outplayed Wembanyama. That's not a the punchline for a joke. That's Ayton outplayed Wemby. He was in foul trouble. I mean, Wemby does so many amazing things. He's an incredible player. But for one game, I thought, Ayton statistically was better than Ayton or was better than Wemby. Obviously, you got guys like Jokic. The game has changed, and it's not like your typical centers like it used to be. Patrick Ewing ain't out there. Hakeem Olajuwon ain't out there. Shaq's not out there. That's not the league today. It's certainly not the way it used to be. All right, let's get some more comments in here. These LeBron haters get on my nerves. Let me come back to this one. I want to hear more from the LeBron haters, and I want to be able to kind of address each one of them as we go. Let's see what we got here. Slee and guys like refuse to see the totality of James' tenure with the Lakers. Pretty average for a super. Okay, we'll come back. Guys, stay on topic here. Okay? Talking about Ayton. Ayton moving his feet and getting out there, playing his ass off, blocking shots, changing shots in the middle. So far, so good. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, I'm gonna get into this LeBron stuff because there's a lot of good information on LeBron. The best. All right. I wouldn't call last year a fugazi, but we were like lab diamonds. Oh, this is good. This is good. Kind of real, kind of fake. We got probably the worst matchup given the Wolves' physicality and size, and only like 2 games separated 3 to the 8 seed. That's good. That's actually a really good comp right there. There was a documentary I watched on lab diamonds. Let me just say, guys, hold your money. Hold your money. I'm not sure we should be throwing our money towards diamonds anytime soon. We don't even know if they're real. Everything's a fugazi. Slee on Ayton, check back with me after 50 games. Let's revisit Ayton's production. I'm with you. By the way, let's not wait till 50 games. We're 9 games in. Let's do it again in 20 games. Let's get to the 20-game marker. And we're a week and a half, 2.5 weeks into the season. Let's readdress this December 1st. And then let's readdress it January 1st. Here's the problem. I can only talk about what's already happened. I can't talk about the future, right? So there's nothing wrong with what you're saying there. You guys have heard the moment, you can't live in the past. You can't live in the future. You got to live in the present. What I'm saying about Deandre Ayton is the present. This is what's happened up until now. I don't disagree by December 1st that narrative can change. I don't disagree that narrative can't change by January 1st, but by November 7th, don't tell me he has not been the most important piece for the Lakers so far because he was such a variable. He was such a question mark. And the position is so important for the Lakers. I think there's a lot that comes with that. Let me see if I get another 1 or 2 on Ayton, and then we'll start shifting gears again. And you know what? Maybe I'll just go right into this Bron stuff. If people want to, I want more of this LeBron stuff. I really do. Just because I'm curious what people say. These are always some of my favorite comments when people can just say that when people can make a point of like, hey, you know what? I was wrong on this one, but I'm coming around on it. Listen, everyone can have hesitation on DeAndre Ayton. I mean, we're not talking Luka Doncic. If people were coming on the chat when the Lakers traded for Luka and said Luka's a bum, then you just don't have any qualifications to talk NBA basketball. But if people were coming on and saying, I don't know about this Ayton move, I don't know if Ayton's going to deliver. Yeah, I got some question marks. I think we all knew there was no risk for the Lakers getting him, but that doesn't mean with the risk there's reward. It doesn't mean that he was guaranteed to be a fit. That's okay that everybody had hesitation. Everyone owes Ayton an apology. I don't even think you got to apologize. I think you just got to give the man credit. Just give the man credit for what he's done so far. He deserves the credit. All right, speaking of credit, can I give a shout-out to Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm here? Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Then I'm going to get into those LeBron comments, even though that's not on my rundown. But if people want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. Shout-out to Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Serious injury, wrongful death case. I hope no one's ever in a situation where you need an injury attorney. Stuff happens in life. And if something happens to you, a family member, a friend, I want you to all point them in the right direction. You can tell them that Brad Wallace at the Wallace firm is the best in the business. He could help anybody in the state of California. And just as important of all that, he's a proud partner of this channel, a proud partner of this show, has been with me for years. You know, I love some of these partnerships where there's such a loyalty and there's such a trust. And I certainly have that with Brad, and it works both ways. We created a URL, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. wallacewins.com/Sliwa. If you go to the website, spend a little bit of time on there, you get a free consultation, fill out all the information. If I could help, Al, can you make an introduction to Brad Wallace? Yes, I can. Al, is there any way that you can, I can kind of skip the line a little bit and talk to the person that runs the law firm? Yes, there is a way. I'd be happy to help. He's helped listeners before, and I know he'll help you if you're in a tough position that you're not 100% sure what to do. wallacewins.com/Sliwa. wallacewins.com/Sliwa. All right, do me a favor here. What's going on here with the LeBron chat? Where are the LeBron haters? I want the LeBron haters right now, okay? I want everyone else to step out of the way. Tell me what people are going to bitch and complain about with LeBron. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. I saw these comments here, and I want to address it. But here's how I want to address this, okay? I want to address this a couple different ways. You know what I like having, you know what I like doing on this chat and what I like doing when I have a microphone? I like having a actual dialogue and a conversation. So do me a favor. For those that want to bitch and complain about LeBron and he's going to ruin the chemistry and this guy's a bum and he did this and he did that and he's ruining the NBA and, my car broke down and it's LeBron's fault. For all those that want to do that, do me a favor when you type in this chat. Have a regular dialogue conversation where I can do something with it, where I can actually highlight it and I could say, wow, that's an interesting point that I haven't thought of. Interesting angle that you're taking here. Don't just, try to show your muscles on a keyboard. Give me something that I can work with so we can have a proper dialogue and a conversation. Okay, I'm going to get that one out of the way. These LeBron haters get on my damn nerves. I'm going to find out I don't even know what you guys were complaining about. So I'm jumping into basically a bar fight. All right. It's like I went to a bar. I was enjoying a drink. And to my left, there are just two guys going at it. And then three guys. And then five guys. And I don't even know what anybody's fighting about. I'm just trying to go over there and be like, guys, is this necessary? Is this necessary? All right. Let's look at a couple of these. Sleeing guys like you refuse to see the totality of James' tenure with the Lakers. Pretty average for a superstar that thinks he's the GOAT. Okay. Well, here's the funny thing. And you're saying that he thinks he's the GOAT. Can you name 3-4 players? And I don't even think this is the conversation that we're going to go down, but let me just go down this rabbit hole with you. If I told you who's the GOAT, somebody's going to say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Somebody's going to say LeBron. Somebody's going to say Michael Jordan. Someone might say Wilt. Someone might say Kobe. Someone might say Magic. Bill Russell. Let's say there's 3 or 4 names there. Is LeBron not one of those 3 or 4 names? Because if you're going to have a conversation about the GOAT, which we're not going to have, it's pretty safe to say that he's going to be somewhere in that conversation. And then it's up to, what somebody thinks. Somebody that maybe grew up in the 60s might look at the league different than somebody that grew up in the 80s. Somebody that's 25 years old is going to view the NBA different than somebody that's 55 years old or 45. I don't want to do the GOAT conversation. Bron needs to emulate a Draymond Green role for this team. Chris, this, my friend, is a great concept that you have in mind. What does Draymond do for the Golden State Warriors? A little bit of everything. I can rebound for you. I could play defense for you. I could be the quarterback on defense for you. I can get guys in the right position. I got an unbelievable high IQ. But here's the difference between Draymond and LeBron. You can also depend on LeBron to give you 8 assists a game. Draymond can't do that. You could also depend on LeBron. You don't need 30. to give you 22 to 25 a game. That's another strength that LeBron has. But I understand what you're saying here from a concept perspective, Chris. Okay, now I gotta go find all the haters here real quick. I just want to know their point. That's all I want to know. I don't even care that people disagree. I don't care that if somebody's not happy or confident about LeBron coming back. I just want to know what the angle is. What's the angle? That's it. That's all. And the only way for me to have, obviously a good conversation is to just make sure that there's some substance behind your comments. All right, let's see what we got here. LBJ at 40 is second all-team NBA at 40. Never been done before. It may never be done again. Period. There's no conversation. There's no conversation. What LeBron is still doing at this stage of his career has never been done in the history of the NBA. When you look back at LeBron James and you're trying to make a case of why he's the greatest of all time or he's not, one thing he's going to have on everybody, he did it for so long at such a high level. He's going to break so many of these different records, still doing it on a day-to-day basis. Second team all NBA at 40. Do you know what that is? That's factual. That's factual. That's not, you're on his, what, or you're a hater. No, that's just facts. That is a fact. Never been done before. Probably will never be done again. I want more haters. Give me more haters. LeBron haters are very annoying. Either you're a fan of the team or you have an agenda, weird behavior. Yeah, I've always had an issue. I've always had an issue with this when it comes to the LeBron chat, sometimes with Laker fans. They can't separate the two, and I don't get that. I grew up really when I really started watching the Lakers and NBA basketball and I got hooked. It was the end of Magic's career. But my real era was after Magic kind of retired, and it's like Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel and Vlade Divac and Sam Perkins. That's kind of my era. There's a reason why I'm mentioning that. Guys came and gone and left the Lakers. I was still watching the Lakers. Shaq went to Miami. I didn't all of a sudden start cheering for the Miami Heat. No, I was actually more bitter and didn't want to see him win a championship. LeBron's a Laker, and all of a sudden Laker fans have this like weird relationship with the Lakers because of LeBron. I never understood that. I know he's a polarizing player, but all right, I want to find some more. Okay, this is good. This is good. Now I get something that I could work with here. LeBron is $50 million of wasted cap space for the Lakers. They could have two better players than him right now that won't take away the touches from Luka and AR. LeBron can't play off ball. Okay, hey, good points right there. LeBron had an option in his contract this year. Okay. Did the Lakers sign LeBron to an extension this offseason, or did LeBron just pick up an existing extension? He picked up an existing extension. Now, I know a lot of the chatter was, well, LeBron doesn't have another 1+1, which he's had in the past. Did the Lakers offer LeBron a 1+1? Because I don't remember the Lakers offering him a 1+1. What happened is LeBron was still very, very productive as a 40-year-old, and the Lakers didn't offer him a contract, but he had 1 year left on his contract to pick up that extension, and that's all that happened in the offseason. So tell me how the Lakers were going to free up $50 million of cap space and go get two players like you're talking about. The Lakers couldn't do that. LeBron wasn't giving up the $52 million. LeBron is still an excellent player in the NBA. They're 7-2 without LeBron. Wouldn't you think then LeBron's going to help the Lakers when he comes back? What your point are valid points of, okay, maybe he can't play off the ball, do this. Okay, well, what were the Lakers supposed to do? It wasn't in the Lakers' hands this past summer, was in LeBron's hands. And what did LeBron do? He picked up his option. What the Lakers did have control over was, well, we don't want to offer him another year after this year for now. That's what the Lakers did. I did a video yesterday. I posted a video yesterday, but I think I did the video the day before. And when I posted that video, it was about Pelinka and how he's kind of been flawless. part of the element there, I thought was a very strategic, smart play by Pelinka and the Lakers. LeBron, we're not giving you another year next year. At least not for now. We're not giving you another 1+1. We got to kind of take the keys back. We got this new guy. It's Luka Doncic. We're going to be building around him. Maybe happy to see you after this year, but you're going to have to wait. We got to figure out what else is going on. We can't guarantee you that there is a next year, and we also can't guarantee you that we're giving you 50 and change. I think the Lakers kind of played this perfectly. How else are you going to play it? LeBron's never been in a position where he didn't have control. Doesn't it feel like this is the first time he doesn't have control? All right, let's get some more in here. It's a bar fight. Fights everywhere right now. Fights everywhere. One fight was over here. It broke out. Then another fight went over there. And I'm looking over here. I'm looking back at the bar. I'm like, listen, I ordered lemon pepper wings. I just want my wings to come out. I just wanted to enjoy a beer. I wanted to watch a little football and have some wings. And there's just shit going on everywhere I look. All right, let's get some more here. It's been 23 years. Just know when to go away. Yeah, listen, I get the exhaustion of LeBron. I get that. There's a lot of people. I was having a conversation. I had a couple of cousins over the weekend, and we're having a conversation about this and LeBron and Kobe and blah, 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 whatever conversations we're having. A lot of people are sick of LeBron. I understand that. But a lot of people are sick of LeBron for a lot of reasons I wouldn't say necessarily are on the basketball floor. I still enjoy watching him play. He's not perfect. I'm not telling you that I agree with everything LeBron does. But as a fan of basketball, I got a difficult time when people tell me I don't enjoy watching LeBron play. You might be exhausted from it. It's time to move on. I just want to see something different. That part is fair. You've been eating that same meal for 23 years. I get that. Completely understand that. I don't think everybody's got to feel that way. I see the value that, he's brought over the years. And I do get the exhaustion. The exhaustion, the passive aggressive and everything else. I do understand that. Okay, I got other topics I want to get into. Damn it. You guys derailed me here a little bit. LeBron haters are weird. Okay, I already read this one. Have I read this one? LeBron haters are weird and delusional. He's a top 15 player, our best defender at the end of last year, and proved already he can mesh with Luka and AR. I can't wait for him to come back. I want to see what it looks like. I was excited to see what the Lakers look like without LeBron. And when he does actually come back and they're trying to kind of mix all this stuff in, I can't wait for it. And I do a daily podcast that's talking Lakers basketball in the NBA. So it's good for business too. I get more content. I'm trying to run a business here. All right, let's take a look at a couple more comments here. Spoley, thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate it. Slee, ever watch clips from Mind the Game? There's a great one with Nash telling Braun and Steph how guarding Steph made him retire. Braun cracking up. I have not watched it. I think I watched early on. I watched a couple of them when JJ Redick was there, but I haven't watched it. That's good to keep in mind. I'll try to watch this one specifically that you're talking about. I appreciate it. So thank you for chiming in on that and sharing that. And thank you for this as well. Thank you for all the supers that are here. Shout out to you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the supers. Okay, I'm going to move on topic-wise. I'll come back to some of this stuff. Can I talk Luka's start versus the Mavs start real quick? Oh, my God, the Dallas Mavericks. I have a genuine question here. By the way, can I ask this question too? Because I'm curious. Are there NBA fans that come to this channel that are, rocking other teams or supporting other teams, but also chime in? Feel free to anytime. I mean, if there's a fan of another team on here that comes on the show, I'm curious to know what other teams, if there's any fans of other teams that are on here as well that just want to shoot the shit, talk NBA, all that stuff. So you don't have to be a Laker fan to be tuning into this channel. I love talking NBA as well, so we can kind of find ways to integrate that. But anyways, let me go real quick. let me talk Luka real quick and go from there. So Luka real quick. I want to look at this is what Luka's doing so far to start this year, okay? And there's an angle of where I'm going here. Luka Doncic, 40, 11, and 9 on a career best shooting so far. Just, obviously a handful of games in. That's what he's averaging so far. 40, 11, and 9. Do you guys ever have these moments where you're watching a Laker game? I had it happen. I've had it happen a few times this year, but I had it against the San Antonio Spurs. Luka, I'm at the game. So obviously environment's completely different when you're at the game. And Luka has this like runner floater. Should have been an and one. They took the and one away. He shot 2 free throws, but he thought it was an and one. And he hits the shot. And he kind of keeps his hands up there, and he's looking towards the baseline of the crowd, and the crowd's going crazy. He's a performer, and he knows he's the main act. And any performer that knows they're the main act, they know how to kind of play with the crowd. They know how to do things to get the crowd hyped up, entertained. They're entertainers. That's what Luka Doncic is. And Luka has that moment where he goes up for a shot. He gets the and one. The crowd starts going crazy, and he's kind of just pointing. He's egging them on like, yeah, do you know who the hell I am? And I remember standing there in that moment, and I'm like, how did they get Luka? How? It doesn't make any sense. Go look at the numbers, the 40, 11, and 9. If you go look at MVP candidates right now, Luka's going to be there. We're early, but I'm just saying that Luka Doncic is Luka Doncic. Everybody knows this. And I cannot help, and I'm sorry if you're a Mavs fan, but, there's a reality to this. I cannot help always looking at how's Dallas doing? What do the Mavs look like? How is their squad looking? What's their record? I can't help myself, because the only way the Lakers got arguably the best player in the world right now, and somebody that could be a legend for the Los Angeles for years to come, and somebody that can add to the 17 NBA championships that the Lakers have, and somebody that could one day have his jersey retired, like the whole Lakers story, the story that happens all the time. The only way any of that can happen is if someone from the Dallas Mavericks decides, I don't want Luka Doncic. And that's Nico Harrison. So I have this like obsession of, well, what's Dallas doing? Here are the Dallas Mavericks right now. They have the worst record in the Western Conference today. They have injuries. Kyrie's out. AD's been out for a couple of games. Let me read you some of their injuries, because I know they have a handful of injuries. AD's out. Most likely to play tonight. Derek Lively's out. Kyrie's out. Dante Exum is out. Kyrie won't come back till, down the road. We'll see if he comes back this year. I have no idea. People could say, well, that's not fair. Look, they got these injuries, and, their team is never whole. Do you know one of the reasons why people would ask the question, why the F are you trading Luka Doncic? You know what one of the reasons was? One of the reasons was the player you got back in AD is never healthy. The problem is he's 6-7 years older, and there's an injury history. It's not even about, like, if Anthony Davis is injured, you can't say, well, we'll never know what they were because AD was injured. No, that's part of the story of Anthony Davis. And you guys saw that quote that I was reading a little bit earlier. Think about how Luka Doncic feels today. Yeah, sometimes they say, you're something happens. He was clearly hurt that Dallas traded him. He got his feelings hurt. He loved the city of Dallas. He loved being a part of that franchise. Dirk Nowitzki, he's going to win a championship for them, and then boom, it's all gone. And you could tell last year, it was like, what the hell just happened? Maybe this was good for him. Maybe today, the way he looks at it, he's like, oh my God, this might have been the greatest thing that's happened in my career. Maybe now, I'm part of this Lakers organization. They're going through new ownership. Maybe I can accomplish more goals than I ever thought I could be able to accomplish. And I'll be able to do it as a Los Angeles Laker and just move on. And Dallas was a great chapter, and nobody hates him in Dallas. They all still love him. I have this thing that just eventually, out of nowhere, it comes up where I ask myself, how is Luka an effing Laker? How is that possible? How did they allow this? I saw, I'm going to read a couple quotes here. There were a couple quotes that I was reading because of the start of the Dallas Mavericks. Here's one quote. This is coming from ESPN's Tim McMahon. When I say big changes might be coming, the number one legitimate question right now is Nico Harrison's job in jeopardy? That is an absolutely legitimate question. I don't have a firm answer for you right now. That's as much as I can tell you, but it is absolutely a legitimate question. When you talk about the Mavericks around the league, it's the first question the people are asking. So let me get this right. Nico Harrison had a vision. Nico Harrison thought his franchise was better without Luka. Nico Harrison got somebody that was 6-7 years older and has an injury history. And Nico Harrison could potentially get fired, let's just say at some point this season, and never see his vision come through. And also on top of that, have to watch the Lakers have the type of success that they're having with Luka Doncic. Maybe it's just me, but I have those moments sometimes where I'm like, I still don't understand how this man's a Laker. And I just wanted to share that with everybody. It still doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it really genuinely doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see what we got here. I like AD, but he truly deserves his nickname. Street clothes, Barkley a fool for that one. Yeah, that's followed him. And listen, I want everybody to know I'm an AD fan. I loved AD with the Lakers. Was I frustrated with AD? Sure. I mean, there were times I'm like, AD, you're supposed to be better than this. You got to lead a franchise. You got to come through in the fourth quarter. How come I don't say Anthony Davis is enough name towards the end of the game? Sure, that came with Anthony Davis. But what also comes with Anthony Davis is availability. When I say AD might have been the problem is on the court, is that he's almost always on the injury report or given less than stellar effort when healthier in the season, the AD experience. They traded Luka. Tell me they traded for Anthony Edwards. I'm like, all right, I can make a case. Still not doing it. Tell me they traded for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I can make a case. Still not doing it. They traded for AD. It's Luka. Tell me they traded for Jokic. Tell me they traded for Giannis. Tell me they traded for Tatum. And many of these I wouldn't do. Traded for AD. All right, let's get a couple more here. Luka gave the Mavs no choice. Luka wasn't a serious pro in Dallas, and the owner didn't want to pay him. Luka also went to the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals 2 years in a row. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He didn't give him a choice. He did give him a choice. You know what I do? I trade everything and change everything other than my superstar. You want to know why? I can't just crop superstars. There's 3 or 4 in the league. That's it. When you get one of them, you got a legit shot of winning an NBA championship. When you don't have one of them, everything else has got to go perfect. He had plenty of choices. I'd fire myself before I traded Luka Doncic. I would say, listen, I'm thinking about trading Luka. I'm stepping down from my position because I'm an idiot. I have an ego. And I think I think I'm playing chess when really I'm playing checkers. I'm not even playing checkers. I'm playing, playing blackjack. That's not even a good example. It's a terrible example, Slee. Luka can give it and take it away. He's shooting 30 times no matter what. Oof. Yeah, that one's Nico about to get fired. I mean, I don't even know what the hesitation is. Maybe they give him till the end of this year. I don't know, but that just I can't process that one. That one doesn't make any sense to me. Lakers got the Atlanta Hawks coming up tomorrow. You know, I could sit here and I could talk about how great the Lakers are doing and all this other stuff. But here's the reality. You go lose to the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow, we're going to be having a different conversation in the postgame show. We'll see if obviously AR is able to go. Here are the Hawks, just to give everyone an idea. Later tonight, Sammy will be putting up a preview video, Lakers and the Hawks. Please support Sammy's videos. He does an incredible job trying to preview the games, so keep that one in mind. Here are the Hawks this year. Are they 4-4? Do the math here. Yep, 4-4 on the season. Wins against the Magic, the Nets, the Pacers, and the Magic. I thought Orlando was going to be good, but they're 3-5. So they don't really have any good wins. Their losses this year: Raptors, Thunder, Bulls, Cavs. So really all teams that are having some success this year, other than the Raptors. I'm not 100% sure how they're doing. And for the Atlanta Hawks, to give everyone just a quick idea, Trae Young. On November 1st, they said he's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks. I think an ACL, but did avoid a major injury. And he's not going to be playing in the game tomorrow. So as you get ready for tomorrow's game, know that the face of the franchise is not playing in Trae Young. They got some other guys. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kristaps Porzingis, Jalen Johnson. So they got some guys. Dyson Daniels, a nice player as well. Really, really good defender. Damn, boy's averaging 2.5 steals per game. What a baller. He's nice. I think Luke Kennard's on their team. So we could have all the conversation we want. If the Lakers end up losing tomorrow, then, take away everything that I said today. Luka going to drop 80 on the Hawks. Jesus Lord. By the way, this to me, I almost feel more comfortable reading this, that Nico just might be an NBA plant. I feel more comfortable with conspiracy theories than I do Nico Harrison genuinely saying, I think this is a good move for our franchise. I'd feel better the other way. Imagine being Klay Thompson, could have literally followed in his dad's footsteps to be a Laker, instead chose Dallas. Why? I know why he chose Dallas. The man wanted some change. He wanted to, I think he'd been in the state of California primarily, obviously, his whole NBA career, and he grew up in Orange County. He gets to play with Luka. I know why he chose the Dallas Mavericks. He just didn't know that, and Kyrie gets to play with Kyrie. What he didn't know was Luka was going to get traded. So there's something on that right there. Okay, I got some NBA news that I'm going to do. Then we'll do the weekend preview, and we'll get the hell out of here. Thank you all for being a part of the show. Thank you all for being a part of the channel. Consider being a member. This week, I did a member show on Wednesday morning at 7:30. They helped me prep for the actual show. I used some of their topics to influence this show as well. Next week, what are we going to do? I'm going to think about it. I got to get on Discord, I think. I think what I'm trying to do is do like a video with everybody that's a member, and we could all kind of be there. And I think I drive the entire thing. I've had a couple members kind of tell me how to do it, so I got to start paying attention to that. But please consider being a member. It's $3 a month and a great way to support the channel, so I appreciate you guys. I think I told you guys before, once I do this portion of the show, I get to NBA news and weekend preview. We got the intro music in the beginning. We got the outro music going out. So last couple of minutes, we'll play some music here as we go. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, weekend preview. Here's what we got going on around the NBA. Got a couple of NBA news as well. Clippers, one game yesterday. Clippers and the Phoenix Suns. Clippers are now 3-5 on the season. The Los Angeles Clippers are 3-5 on the season. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm watching Clippers games because I'm not. But I thought Clippers were supposed to be a top 4 team in the Western Conference. Very early in the season. But I'm going to tell you where the Clippers are and what they're doing. At 3-5, here are their wins. Portland, Phoenix, and the Pelicans. Here are their losses. Jazz, Warriors, Heat, Thunder, Suns. 3-5 Los Angeles Clippers. I don't know what to tell you guys, but I thought the Clippers were supposed to be good this year. A lot of season left to play. We'll see what eventually happens, but a little bit of a surprise that that's the case. All right, let's get into some more NBA stuff right now. Scores around the NBA. This is what, if you're looking for some good games tonight, I got you. Some good games around the NBA tonight. Well, a couple good games, at least from what I was looking at a little bit earlier. Lakers don't play till tomorrow, so you can kick back and chill and don't got to worry about it. Rockets and the Spurs. 5-2 Rockets, 5-2 Spurs. I'm all in. That's on Prime, by the way. So if you guys want to watch that game, that's going to be on a little bit later. The other game that I think is going to be entertaining, the Golden State Warriors and the Denver Nuggets. That game's in Denver. Again, another game on Prime Video. So you got 2 games tonight that you could kick back, you could chill, you can relax, you can enjoy, and certainly can enjoy those games that are going to be going on in the NBA. Those are the 2 games, like I said, for the NBA tonight that you can keep an eye on. Let's jump real quick to the NFL. In the NFL, this is part of my, obviously weekend preview, what we got going on in the NFL. There was an NFL game on yesterday, 10-7, Broncos over the Raiders. Broncos 8-2. Broncos. All right, here's some good games in the NBA. This is what I think has happened in college and NFL. There are weeks where the NFL and college just simultaneously together are just nothing's good. Then there are weeks where they're loaded scheduling-wise. It's a good weekend in college football and the NFL. Let me give a couple of the games that are coming up. Rams and the Niners, 6-2 versus 6-3. NFC West showdown. That game's in San Francisco. It's 125 on Fox. I can't wait for that game. That's a good one. Here's another good one. Steelers Chargers, 5-3 versus 6-3. I'm a huge Steelers guy. Love the Steelers. You know what I mean? Love the Steelers. Been a Steelers fan since yesterday. And I'll be a Steelers fan through Sunday. And then Monday night, Eagles and the Packers. 3 badass games coming up this weekend. One of them going to be on Monday. So the NFL's got a good schedule for us. All right, college football here real quick. Let me give a couple of these top 25s. By the way, SC's playing Northwestern. SC ranked number 19 in the country, 2 losses. So let's see if SC comes through in that game. Number 7 BYU versus number 8 Texas Tech. How about that for a Big 12 matchup? Number 7 versus number 8, like that. Texas A&M, number 3 in the country, will take on Missouri. Oregon, number 9 in the country, will take on number 20, Iowa. Just pointing out the teams that are ranked, both teams that are ranked. LSU, Alabama, but LSU, we obviously know the struggles they're having. Notre Dame's got a game against Navy. So a couple good college football games, couple good NFL games. Really good stuff from that perspective. If you're an MLS fan, I just became a MLS fan here recently. SDFC, part of the MLS mix now. They got a game coming up on Sunday. So they're playing Portland and San Diego. Hopefully they can win that and move on to the next round. All right, let me take a look at a couple of the comments here. Go from there. Too early in the season to talk about standings. Yeah, well, you shouldn't be 3-5. Suns suck. They beat the Clippers without Harden and Kawhi. I will tell you this. I don't think the Suns are terrible. I don't think they're terrible. I don't think they're good, but I think they could fight for a potential play-in spot. We'll see what happens. Clippers older than Jesus. Clippers a little old. I don't know who the oldest team is in the NBA anymore. Slee, Dallas is missing Kyrie and AD. Starting a rookie Clay is busy riding someone called Stan, now riding the bench. Bottom line, who wins the chip first? I mean, I that's not even a conversation. It's not. And it doesn't even guarantee that the Lakers are going to win a chip. But if anyone's taking stock, do you want stock in the team that's got guys in their mid-30s or, early to mid-30s, or a team built around Luka that obviously we'll see where they eventually go? All right, let me read a couple more here, and then we're done for the day, done for the week until tomorrow. Tomorrow night, obviously, we come back and we do a show after the Lakers take on the Atlanta Hawks. Do we got any more? A couple more supers here that I'm going to read. Nico and Kidd, they'd be fired. Owner didn't want it. Jason Kidd just got an extension. I don't think he's going anywhere. Every day I thank Nico. You should wake up. You should thank the man above. You should be grateful for what you have. And then you should give a shout out to Nico Harrison. That sounds good. I think all 3 of those are very, very fair. All right, guys. I appreciate it. Fun week this week. It was a good quote. I'd fire myself before trading Luka. That was in the top of my head there. I'm like, yeah, I'd rather just quit than fire or than do that. All right, my people, I'm out of here. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Christian Torres says, go Aztecs. They got a game this weekend in Hawaii. 7-1 SDSU Aztecs. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Really appreciate the week. Really enjoyed the week with you guys. I'm back on tomorrow morning, tomorrow night after the Lakers take on the Atlanta Hawks. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your Friday night. Watch some good sports over the weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow night.